Hi and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Today we would be discussing the problem named as Find Transition Point. I am Siddharth Hazra and currently I'm an SD at Geeks for Geeks. Besides that, I'm also a candidate master at Codeforces. Now, let's start the discussion of this. So we need to find the transition point in a binary array. Seems complex to hear, but binary array is nothing but an array which only contains of 0 and 1. And the nature of the binary array is monotonic. So we need to find the transition point of a binary array. So in this binary array, the nature of the binary array is that it would start from 0 and it would end from 1. Be it something like this. Okay. Or be it something like this. These are the three cases that can occur, and you need to report these all points like this, and here you need to return something as -1. Okay, so you need to return the first point of 1. Okay, so this, like, how would you come to the conclusion, like how binary search would kind of pop into your head? Like, there are two different intuitions for two people. If you are a beginner, then there two conclusions should pop into your mind. That the very first conclusion is that this array is a sorted array and we need to search something. Okay, if you are an intermediate, one more point should pop into your mind, that is the nature of the array is monotonic. What is basically monotonic? Just telling you everything in brief so that the hype is not created for beginners. So monotonic functions are nothing but somewhat like the 0 0 0 1 1 or simply 1 1 1 or simply 1 1 1. Like, it is not a mix of 0 and 1s. If 0 has started, it would end with 0. If 1 has started, it would end with 1. Like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. There can be multiple yes, and like there can be multiple yes, 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 and then no, no, no. Okay, or no, no, no simply, or no, 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 or yes, yes, yes. It can't be yes, no, yes, no. It can't be something like this. So these are all monotonic function. This is not a monotonic function. This was all about the hype. Okay, fair enough. So these are the two things that should pop into your mind, which gives you an intuition that I need to use something like binary search. Okay, but how would you use the binary search? Why? Because if we have a mix of 0 and 1s, it might be a scenario that this, like, my binary search function lands me here and I return this value, but I don't want that. Binary search might land me here and this value is also equals to 1. If I try to find 1, binary search might land me to this, and then this is a wrong answer. Let me show you the point where this would go wrong. Let's say the number of 0 is 2 and the number of 1 is something like this. Here, if you already have noticed, this is the answer, but let's say this is low and this is high, then this would point to something in the mid. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Let's add one more so that the middle element would be properly identified. 1 2 3 4, and this is the fifth. So the middle element would lie here and this is equal to 1. So we would return this index, and this is not the answer, this is not the answer, this is the answer. At this point, at this kind of instance, our simple binary search would fail. But if you notice something, that if our mid is pointing to 0, then I need to take this L and go here. Like, let's say this is 0. Like, let's have all of this again. Okay, and let's just see everything again. Okay, so we have L here and we have low and high at this point, like we have in binary search. Okay, so if at any instance the mid is pointing at 0, then we know that this is a sorted array, so 1 would lie on the right hand side. So we would make this L go to mid plus 1. If this is mid, this would be mid plus 1 because mid is already checked. So I would simply say that if mid is pointing to 0, I would make low is equals to mid plus 1. And let's say for scenario that the mid is being pointed to somewhere here. Then if it is 1, then what I would do is, first it might be a probable answer. So else condition would be the condition where mid is equals to 1. So first I would update the answer. That is basically save the answer. And then I would say that let's go a little back in the memory. So little back means what? Go on the right hand side, because that is where you would find the first memory of yours. So you would say that high is equals to mid minus 1. Let me give you the intuition for this, like what is the basic understanding. Let's say I got into a relationship, okay, and on 3rd of this month it was my first date. On the 5th of this month it was my second date. On 7th of this month it was my 3rd date with my girlfriend. Okay, now let's say like my girlfriend asked me that, Siddharth, can you recall our very first date? I say, yes, I can, but it has become a little bit hazy because it has been a long time. So what I tried to remember the date of the 5th. So she told me like, no. This is not the first date of ours. So I would go. So if 5th, and my girlfriend told me that this is not the first date, then in memory, I would try to find the date with the value greater than 5th. Like I would try to recall the memory after 5th or before 5th, which would make more sense. Recalling the memory before 5th would make more sense because the first date would have been happened at that side, not on this side. Okay, on this side of the calendar. If I move to this side on the calendar, I would be able to get the first date. But if I start going further in the memory, then I won't get the first date. In the same manner, if I got 1 and I want to find the first occurrence of 1, then I need to move on the left hand side, not on the right hand side, because right hand side, there is no point in moving right hand side. I won't find the first occurrence of it. So I would be going on the left hand side. Going on the left hand side means what? Keeping h here, that is mid minus 1. Mid minus 1. This is why we are doing this. And the last updated answer. So I told my girlfriend that, see, is 5th our first date? My girlfriend told me no. Is 3rd our first date? She told me yes. So the last updated answer is our answer. In the same manner, every time we are able to find a date value, we would update the answer, and the last updated answer would be our first occurrence. Let us move to the implementation. This implementation would be very much akin to binary search, and let's see this. So being a lazy person, I would make this as A, and I would make low is equal to 0 and high is equals to n minus 1. We would move till the condition while low is less than equal to high. Int mid is equal to low plus high divided by 2, and then we would say if A of mid is equals to 0, then we should move on the right hand side, that is L is equals to mid plus 1. L is equals to mid plus 1. Else in all other scenarios we should say high is equals to mid minus 1, but we need to update the answer is equals to mid. Update the answer, then declare something known as answer. Int answer is equals to minus. So if it is not updated, it would remain as minus 1. So perfect combination why we had minus 1, and then we would return the value of answer. Let us see this, compile and run and see how many errors are we making. Seems like we are not making any errors. Now let us try to submit this and see how many errors are we forming, how many wrong answers we are getting. So we didn't fail. So that was a complete ACs. The time complexity of this problem is log n. So the brute force solution is nothing but iterating from the start, and the very first point where we receive a 1, we would say yes, that is not possible. Why it is log n? Because each time the search space is reduced to half. That is why it is log n, log base 2n. That's it for today. Thank you and have a nice day.